Thank you. Thank you so much. What a joy. What a happy night. I mean, to kick it off like this. Oh, Brother Walker getting his comeuppance, huh? This is not a moment too soon. What a joy. And I was saying earlier that from the time of the decision, the election on the recall, that the national media, of course, said, oh, well, those radicals lost up there in Wisconsin. But I thought, bullshit, you know, you didn't lose. You forced a sitting governor into a recall election and pushed him and the Koch brothers with their tens of millions of dollars to the wall. You won the state senate. You created an organization. You've got a movement. You have won. You've got something strong going, and now we have this. So it's great to be back here at Bobfest, and again with Dr. Phil Donahue, my old traveling buddy and one of the most useful citizens in the United States, and our pal Norman Solomon. What a great fight he made out in California, and that's not over yet. That's just beginning. And to be back here with WORT Radio, Milton Mayette Wave. And of course, my old friend Spotted Cow. So it's a joy to join you, Wisconsin democracy fighters, you Bobfesters, here at Goodman Center as we gear up for tomorrow's Fighting Bobfest hullabaloo, and then for the November 8th Republican butt kicking that they've been asking for a long, long time. And speaking of the Goodman Center, let's thank this good man, Ed Garvey, for the terrific job that he keeps doing. Along with all of the volunteers who keep the Bobfest bobbing along as the best political party in America. So I'm going to share a few thoughts with you on the election here. I mean, what a nutty bunch of Republicans that have been unleashed on America. Mitt Romney, the pain from Bain, says that because he made a fortune of untold and largely untaxed wealth as a financial vulture, that he has the know-how to fix our economy. But he uses fix in the same word that a veterinarian does. And those of you who are staring at me blankly should ask your dog what that means. Then his sidekick, the dishonest dweeb from Janesville down here, says we should trust him to save Social Security. That's what he said at the Tampa convention. You know, I'd rather trust a coyote with my last lamb chop than to trust Social Security to Paul Ryan. He even lied about his athletic prowess. Did you see this? He said that he ran on TV. He was interviewed and he said, "Yeah, I ran a marathon under 3 hours." But wow, I mean that's high standard right there. But it turns out, of course, not to be true. It was over 4 hours. And by the way, it was in the Grandma's Marathon in Duluth, Minnesota. I don't know if you knew that tidbit. Grandma's Marathon took him more than 4 hours. Several grandmas topped him. Well, I got right-wing nuttiness is hard to fathom, but it is not hard to find anymore. That's for sure. Todd Aiken, need I say anything else? There. He's on the science committee. Did you know that? And you think, that can't be possible. Michelle Bachmann is on the intelligence committee. You know, Molly Ivins would have said, if she did often, you just can't make this stuff up, but that's now passé. You can't dream this stuff up. But when it comes to national nut contests, never count out us Texans. We've, of course, got our own Rick Perry, the governor, who really puts the goober in gubernatorial. And we could go in depth into that, but we won't. But we got a new contender that you may not know as well. Name is Tom Head. Tom Head is the Republican county judge out in Lubbock, Texas. And last month, he startled the Lubbockians by demanding a local tax increase. Now, why did he need a tax increase? Well, he said, I need more police because there's a looming political crisis. And what would that be? Well, it's just rip and read. I'll just let Judge Head speak for himself. He said, in this political climate, what is the very worst thing that could happen right now? Obama gets back in the White House. No, God forbid, he said. If Obama wins, the judge went on, he's going to try to hand over the sovereignty of the United States to the UN. I'm thinking the worst, he added. Civil unrest, civil disobedience, civil war maybe. We're talking Lexington, Concord, take up arms and get rid of the guy. Now what's going to happen if we do that? Said the learned scholar. Obama's going to send in UN troops. By the way, there are no UN troops. They have to use other countries, but that's a factual side point. And the judge added, I don't want them in Lubbock County, okay? So I'm going to stand in front of their armored personnel carrier and say, you're not coming in here. By God, somebody's standing up to the United Nations invasion of the United States. This is the chief executive of Lubbock County, the top-ranking Republican in Lubbock County. This is not some screwball on a talk radio show. But as the only Democratic county commissioner said, he is a six-pack short of a full case of beer. I think that's being generous. You know, there's a great singer-songwriter named Butch Hancock comes out of Lubbock, Texas. In fact, he's part of a group called the Flatlanders, and it was Jimmy Dale Gilmore and Joe Ely and Butch Hancock. And Butch, they're all tremendous songwriters. And Susan DeMarco and I had a talk radio show some years ago, and we had Butch was on our show, and he was explaining to us just how really confusing it was as a teenage boy to grow up out there in that hardcore, evangelical, Christian, don't even dance kind of culture, with your hormones ripping through you and all that. And Butch explained that they would teach them that sex is the filthiest, nastiest thing on earth, and you should save that for someone you love. Which I think is what happened to Judge Tom Head right there. Well, the Republicans have gone from right wing to completely right out of their minds. And they would be hilarious, except they're so serious, so dangerously nutty. That's why Bobfest is so useful. What you've been doing now for 11 years here, we need to spread this across America. And everywhere I go, I talk about Bobfest. In fact, I'm going down to Iowa tomorrow, because on Sunday they're having a similar event down there in a small town of Fairfield, Iowa. It's a smaller deal, but you know, we began pretty small here in Madison as well, actually, out in Baraboo. But this needs to spread all over, because this is how we build a movement, not by emails and not by brilliant articles by Norman Solomon and Matt Rothschild and Ruth Conniff and myself, but by people getting together and trying to figure things out and listening and scheming and strategizing, organizing, harmonizing, mobilizing. That's what Bobfest gives us the chance to do. It tells us what's at stake and what we're up against, but it gives us this common ground And it does something just as important, and that is it puts fun into the process. It's not just another committee meeting, and you have shown how to put the party back in politics, and we need a whole lot more of that. That's why I keep coming back and keep spreading the word of what Bachfest is doing. It is important, again, not just because of the messages, not just because of the organizing and strategizing, but because of the fun. We need to rub up against each other a little bit and get to know each other, right? Lubricate ourselves with a little bit of Wisconsin beer, get involved, and that way we get to know each other and we understand what different issues might be, that the farmers have got something going that really relates to labor, and labor's got something going that speaks to environmentalism. Environmentalism has something going that works with poor people, not against them. We're not all enemies as the powers that be try to make it. As Jesse Jackson said, we might not all have come over on the same boat, but we're in the same boat now. That's a powerful political reality right there. So we've just got to keep pushing. When I first moved down to Austin, Texas in 1976, there was a moving company down there that had an advertising slogan that I liked, so I stole it for political purposes. And it was just a little bitty company. It's two big guys with a truck, that's what it amounted to. I think it's Skeeter and Boger or something like that, and moving company. And they had an ad in the Yellow Pages, and it said, "If we can get it loose, we can move it." That's all we have to do. Get it loose at the grassroots level, and the people will move it for themselves. Thank you for what you're doing. Keep at 'em. You're doing great stuff.